Ya está.
Hey, how are you? Do you know about the thing about the Asian people in United States when COVID hit?
Yeah, that was like um, people harassing Asian people, right?
Yes. Well, it was this kind of stereotype about Asians, well, Asian people that were like contagious about COVID. So what do you think about that? It was pure racism, I think.
I mean, yeah, because like they didn't have any fault of what happened in their country, right?
Yes. Also, I think it's kind of related to Homo sacer, the thing that we learn in class, or what do you
Oh,
think?
oh
Yes,
yeah,
it
like
reminds me also to street vendors in Mexico City and worldwide that don't have legal recognition, are exploded and displacement.
About the sweet what? I didn't
Street
understand.
vendors.
Uh, how about do you want to expand the idea for
Yes, these people are excluded from the society because are poor and
okay?
don't have access to legal information and are exploited by authorities.
Okay, okay.
For me, the example, it reminded me of refugees, how they when they like enter like another country, they don't necessarily have the same rights as the citizen. Sometimes they're locked up in maybe like detention camps. And like another example can also be like concentration camps. Like it just they took away like basic rights, which is like basically what you guys are saying, how people just some people just don't have like all of their rights or just are not treated as everyone else.
Yeah, that in specific is it has a name, right? It's like Nuda Vida or Homo sacer.
yeah,
You know,
it it actually was the Giorgio Agamben who brought this um well
This idea.
this
this
idea.
idea exactly, and it's the bare life as it, because like the persons don't have any rights, and like it's just a living thing because they are not even worthy of being a sacrifice.
Of course. Is
Yeah.
something called exclusion something? Do you know about that, Diego?
Yeah, it's like when the part of a society like feels threatened, like they try to eliminate this threat, and so they literally remove all rights to these people, the Homo sackers,
Mhm.
so they can feel like more comfortable.
Yes, they are living like in a limbo where they are not worthy of the divine right or uh, human rights. It's
Exactly.
yes.
Yeah, you know, in other words, it's like someone could kill without being guilty
Mm,
of it.
yes.
What you guys are talking is the thing about Zoe and Dio. Yeah, then.
Oh yeah,
Wait, that's
like
different.
bios, as far as I remember, bios was like the people who had rights in Rome,
Mhm.
and Zoe was like kids, women, and some animals that they were part of this bare life actually.
Yeah,
Kind of,
actually,
Also
mhm.
gods.
Guts.
Yes.
yes, and like animals. So like what I
Yeah.
understand, like Zoe is just like how you said, like the bare life. So kind of um like animals, humans, and like dogs. And then bios like refers to like a more specific and like politically qualified life. And like going back to what Agamben said, like he wanted that distinction to be very clear because his one of his main concerns was how they would transition, like societies would transition from like a zoe into like a bio. like type of lifestyle or a society.
Okay.
Like, and do anyone knows why like Agamben brought this idea? What brought him to like try to explain this kind of situation in a philosophical way?
I think he was trying to find contradictions in Foucault's work, right? And then he worked on Homo Sacer 1, 2, and 3.
But he tries to join like biopolitics of Foucault with
Yeah.
Homo Sacer that puts actually the society as the sovereign, you know?
Mhm.
So the society is the one who decides who has rights and who doesn't.
Yeah, it's like the sovereign has only the power to exclude the other ones, right? And
Yes.
it's the contradiction that Agamben found.
So from what I understood, it was critic to the biopolitics and the totalitarianism, and yeah, I think that was it. Kind of. Yeah, general idea of the massacre. I'm not really sure if you guys agree with me.
Yeah, he's trying to warn us about the dangerous and indeterminate limit between the legal order, and the life itself.
And it's like you said, no, like this COVID situation that happened in Asia and the Americans trying to like harass or
Exclude them because Homo
yes.
Sacer is not born with a as a criminal, or when someone commits a felony, it's also born with hatred to a certain group of people. For example, a minority. For example, in Mexico, in United States, when Mexicans go for a better life and they are like excluded, or they are like hated. Yeah.
And I can imagine like that in cities like New York, like they should have like a big problem because of the big amount of Asian people in there.
Yeah, actually, there's a lot of videos in 2019 and 2020 about well, this kind of people, this, I don't know how to say it, like racist people that harass, for example, Japanese or Chinese only because they're Asian and they think they are like contaminated from COVID.
And like going back to what you said about when like Mexicans are like crossing the border, that like is an example of what I previously said about like the detention camps, where they basically like all of their like human rights, like dehumanizing them. And well, that's like exactly what the theme of it with all of these examples.
Yeah, because these American people try to remove all the rights that Mexican people or Latin American people has, and they treat them like animals. Like, hey, let's go hunt some immigrants or stuff like that.
Yes, and regarding the Homo Sacre, I think it's helpful to understand the violence, because as a society, to understand why these people are excluded and get to the bottom of the problem.
Yeah, well, it's kind of difficult because it is born from hate and fear and sometimes ignorance, so it's kind of a big deal to deal with.
Actually, it's like an idea that Fidel shared with me last class, that he said like the people the racism like it borns from this kind of Homo Sacer when denigrate that like another kind of people or whatever just because they are different, you know.
I think from the Homo Soccer, Agamben tried to give a solution for this. I think it was something about coming politics, that it would be a new politics that refrain for any relationship of the sovereignty and the associated concepts such as nation, people, and democracy. But I think it's kind of hard. But yeah, if we think about that idea, how I'm not really sure how we can associate it with the class, with violence, dignity, and justice. It's a really important subject, but what are your ideas of how can we really relate it to the class and how we can learn from it?
I think that kind of what was already said, how it really like shows when this happens, and maybe like it's documented, it shows emphasis on like structures that may like facilitate or like make violence against like group, like by dehumanizing them, like maybe like police brutality. Like it's just like a tiny example within a country where there's like a system or a structure that really doesn't work for that group of people, and that like I think it's very important that this philosophy, or like kind of how it relates, it's a way to make the word go around, to like show emphasis on like those world issues, so that maybe like advocates come forward and maybe like protests just to like highlight that problem.
And you mean like the protest that United States had of Black Lives Matters?
Yes.
So I didn't understand. So that's like a kind of solution or like a way of educate people or
No, it's not a solution, but it's how it like applies to society today, like how it can help by just like in it
approach?
showing
Okay.
like emphasis on an issue.
Okay. Yeah, I agree.
I agree with the idea that it's important to raise the idea or give it some light so that all people can understand that why this is a problem and try to learn or see what we can do to avoid doing this thing. But yeah.
Yeah, because like the video we saw last class of the kids saying which baby is the good one and who's the bad one, they chose like the black one because they didn't like it, you know.
Yes, totally.
I mean,
It's really interesting trying to see all points of Agamben and this idea of Homo Sacer and how this affects us as of now. Um, but
yeah, it was nice.
Yeah, it was really interesting. Hear all of you.